we are gearing up for Activity 5, which is going to be our first foray into the CLEAR model for this module. Now, when we talk about CLEAR, that means we are being really explicit with our math instruction. And the CLEAR model asks us to construct a plan, lead by modeling, engage in practice, ask students to apply independently, and then refine our instruction with data. And we always want to make our instruction clear. Why? So that students can do the math. Now, here is an example of a CLEAR model for this module, but it's actually for something that comes later in this module. And but I want to go through it to just show you what my expectations are as you develop your CLEAR model for this part of this module. So with our CLEAR model, first you're going to construct a plan. Here I've put in the standard that I'm adhering to as I'm thinking about here composing and decomposing numbers. And then with the lead by modeling, you can see I have this really rich dialogue between a teacher and a group of students. It's got a lot of really great math vocabulary embedded with it, and it goes through step by step how I might compose or decompose different numbers. That lead by modeling is a conversation. So make sure that it's not just teacher talk, but it's how are we going to engage students in that model to make sure that they're actively engaged. And when students are actively engaged, they're likely learning more mathematics, right? Then as we continue with the CLEAR model, here's what an engage with in practice might look like if we were thinking about composing or decomposing 256. So again, teacher and student dialogue. There's a lot of prompts in there for the students as to like, okay, let's do this together. Remember that engage in practice is that guided practice. And then as we get to the end of this example, students are going to think, I'd like you to think about how students are going to apply independently, and I hope you'll put in some activities where students would apply that knowledge independently. And then finally, I'd like you to think about how students are going to give you information about how well they're doing with this task. And here you might be doing observations, you might be doing some dialoguing, you might be collecting some student work samples, and you might be doing an error analysis, particularly if students show that they're having a hard time with the content that you're trying to teach. So that brings us to Activity 5. Here I'd like you to choose something that your students need to do related to tens and ones. Then you're going to construct a plan, so think about the standards that would be important for students to develop skill with. Then you're going to develop that lead by modeling. Then you're going to figure out how are you going to engage students in practice? What does that look like and sound like? How are you going to ask students to apply independently? And what kind of data are you going to collect so that you can refine with data? This should take you a while, so take your time, really explore how you're going to teach about tens and ones, and I'll see you on the flip side.